Good evening, good afternoon and good morning. Johnny V coming at you again. And this is a special video to all my subscribers out there. It's a thank you video to you because there's 308 or 310, I'm not sure, I have to double check. But there's enough out there that makes me very happy and I'm very grateful to you all. So this present is for you. It's a tour of Dad's shed, my shed. Alright, so every shed has a door. And every door has a handle. So let's go in. And every room has a floor. And it's amazing. They all look good. Alright, shutting the door. Let's come up the door and we have our inaugural poster greet. The mighty HQ Holden Monaro. Many of you guys know this vehicle from the Mad Max movie. Others here in Australia just know it. It's a great car. And you Ford guys, yeah, you've got good stuff too. But I'm a HQ man and that's my favourite car. We go up the wall, we've got some more Holdens there. We've got the great Aussie Ute and then the Holden 1-tonners and the like. Right, step across the room and we've got some race car drivers from Australia that were drivers I followed. We've got Larry Perkins there on the left and Russell Ingall on the right. And I met both of those guys at different venues and managed to get autographs from them and some good chats with them. They're really good guys. And then we step across to the next poster. And we have a very formidable combination of Mark Scaife and Craig Lowndes for the Holden dealer team. Craig on the right hand side there, where are we? Right there. He learned his skills under the King of the Mountain, Peter Brock, who we lost a few years ago now, and Mark Scaife became a team compatriot over the years and they raced very well together. Actually Mark Scaife, I was his private car detailer for a very short while in Melbourne. It'd be a good year or two that I was looking after his family vehicles. He's a nice bloke. Right, step across to some of the vehicles that were in my collection that they raced in. We've got 05 up the top there, which was Peter Brock. And then number 1 next door was when Craig Lowndes was racing with him. And then we step down the next one. We've got number 1 Craig Lowndes, 05 Peter Brock, number 11 Larry Perkins, number 8 Russell Ingall. I think that might be Jason Bargwiner in the 97 car. And then we've got Lowndes in the number 1 Commodore and Scaife in the number 2 Commodore. I'm not 100% sure who raced Super Cheap because there's no name on that one. And then we've got Ingall and Murphy when they were in the English version of supercars in the Holden Vectra. And then Craig went over to the Ford, and that was the Falcon that he raced in first. It was the 00 or 00, and then that became 888. And then we have Mark Larkham racing the Mitre 10 hardware Falcon back in the day, and then just a couple of odd cars there in the Chevys that I kind of like. Pan back and we're in our museum section now. We've got our embroidered FX Holden. My wife embroidered that for me many years ago, and that now takes pride and place on my wall here in the model room. And we step down again and we've got a newspaper clipboard of articles that were to do with Holden over the years. All the things that were special about those particular models and what was going on, and races that were here. We did have a Cannonball Cup raced here, and those two young larrikins there were prepping a HG Holden Monaro for the race, and then it got cancelled due to some fatalities. We have our diecast models here, the Chevy, And then an old tin bus that I rescued from the tip many years ago. And a crazy idea for a surf truck. That's just a tin toy. And have my model library there, books and model cars and stuff. And down the bottom there, some gardening books, because I used to be a landscape gardener when I was a young guy. And then we come around here to some glass cabinets, so we'll open those up, give you a bit of a tour in there. That shelf shows varying scales of trucks or cars. You can put it in cars as well if you wanted to. This guy up the back here, the Mack truck, that's a 1/43rd scale. That guy there is the Kenworth is 1/64th scale. That Kenworth there is 1/50th scale. And that guy there is 1/72nd scale, as is the Matchbox Convoy truck right there. And I do that so when people ask me about scale, if they come here from the group, I can give them comparisons. And then down here we have my 1/18th scale petrol Bowser or gas Bowser collection, all the various branding. Most of them are motor based, so we've got Buick on there, Eagle, Chevrolet of three versions I think. Yep, 3 different ones there. And then we've got Buick on that end, Pontiac there, Cadillac there. Then we've got Pennzoil, 2 versions of different Bowsers. Shell on that one, Mobil Gas on that one, and then another Pennzoil right around the corner there. And then in the middle we have an Ampol, which I actually made myself, and that's to scale. I'm pretty certain that's 1/18th scale as well from what I worked out, but that's an old 60s era Bowser. And then we come down here and we have different die casts, which are all movie based cars. Oh, dropped the lot. But I've got American Graffiti, I've got Steve McQueen from Bullet, I've got Scarface, I've got American Graffiti, more of them, Minirama, Porsche there from another movie, can't remember what that was from. Then we've got Smoking the Bandit combo box down the bottom there. And we've got a few others tucked away in here. And some more 1/18th scale. This Mazda RX-7 was raced in New Zealand by Alan Moffat, who was a Ford driver over here in Australia, originally from Canada. And he tussled up against Peter Brock over many, many years, and was a pretty accomplished driver. The Ferrari right there was a bequest to me from a friend of ours in the model group who passed away. He used to love his Ferraris, and that was left to me to be custodian over, as is the little die cast up the back there. I'll just grab that one. The Diapet Mitsubishi Galant was one of his as well, and so I'm quite honoured to have those in my collection. Right, so that's that cabinet. In this cabinet we have quite the array. Have another gas station there, BP one, with a few models in front of it. That one needs restoration, so that will happen eventually. That one from PB up north. Thank you, Peter, for the Convoy race series, Holden and Kenworth transporter. That will become a build one day. Some of these guys you will recognise from just a recent video. Thank you out to Tony Bellini for the Hot Wheels cars that came early this year, and then a few more of these guys here from the last video. And up the very back there, from our good friend George Hodges from Hodges Hot Wheels and Diecast. These are cars that he actually did and so he's done that one for me, the General Lee and the Chevy Stepside. I think that was a 3-blind mice build, that one, and I think that one was too. So he forwarded those on to me, and I'm very appreciative of them. And we come down to the next level, and we have a little F-truck that I did for Orpa's build. And we have the Holdens in there from my diorama build. And then another diorama build, the Dibs build, the Cobra build, movie car build we had to do, the Orpa build, the Opel Commodore, and then the one I did for myself, the running on empty group build for myself, and diorama base. And then there's a couple over there which haven't really officially been released to video. We've got Up in Smokes van, which needs decals, and we've got Cheech's Impala lowrider over the back there, and then Sergeant Stadenko's Dodge in the back there. We also have the homage to Chevrolet 5, 6 and 7s, and then we've got a Monte Carlo up the top and a Caprice down the bottom there. We have the Pontiac diorama there, car for sale, still for sale, guys. No, it's not. Then we have a few more oddbods in there, some that were gifted by KC and friends. We thank you again for those. There's my Starsky and Hutch Corgi up the back there, which needs restoration. And then we step down the next layer, and we have a 1/43 scale Bathurst winner, Brock and Samson. And then we have Hot Wheels drag set, gift box, nice piece. And then another old Esso gas station which was ruined, so it's just been transformed into a ground level one. The Falcon from another build I did for the Australian car build off, the Falcon build off. And then I've got some more garage stuff. We've got Pennzoil and some Fords and a couple of Dinkies tucked away down here. And then down the very bottom, we got a 25th scale die-cast Chevy Suburban, 56 Chevy Bel Air convertible, and the Corvette as well. So that's what's in the glass. All right, on the wall we have an homage to Holden and its history, which only runs up to 1964. I never got any more plates after that. But we have the top one up there with our Prime Minister of the day back in 1940s, war era, Ben Chifley. And when Holden first came out. Then we have the FX, FJ, FB, FC, FE, EK, EJ, and EH. All beautiful cars. I wish they built more models of those. That starts from 1948 to 1963. Alright, now we've got my stash. It's not as big as many of you guys out there, but it's what I do have, and I'm pretty chuffed to have them. So I'll just cruise past them slowly, and you can obviously see what they are. There's Dan the Man, who's going to do a video on that guy soon. A few drag cars that I like. And then upstairs we've got a few up there, and a partially started 82 Corvette. That's large scale. A friend of ours from the model group started it many years ago. couldn't keep interest in it and just passed it down to me to finish off. So one day I'll get round to that. I didn't show that in my stall projects because I didn't install it. And then I've got a few of the Highway series diorama ones, and they're all pretty much mint in box. Step across the room a little bit. I've got a few more. Most of these boxes on the that I'm showing you now are all built. That's not, and there is a Ford in there, a couple, and there the Fords still got a couple to build, but then we hit into Chevy territory. So we've got a couple of vans. About 32 is built, the Jag's built, the Monte Carlo's built, but the rest aren't. The Cameo, El Camino, and so on, all these aren't built. So you've got 57 Nomad, 55 Nomad, 56 Nomad, 54, 53 and 51. Original Matchbox issue of the Chevy 51 convertible. The 55 Bel Air. Take note guys, 55 Bel Air, Citroen 2CV, Mercury 32 disc coupe, 56 Thunderbird, and a couple of struggling Chevys. I see a theme happening here. Alright, we have our paint stand. We have Humbrol paints down the bottom. We got Model Master in the middle. We got Tamiya second level, and there's a tub full of mixed nail polishes, which are also great to paint models with. We've got some SMS, which I used on the on that Ford, and my Tamiya supply, and a couple of Model Master cans, and Tamiya surfacer, and we're back up the top there again with more cans. And on the very top shelf we got an array of Greenlight and Hot Wheels mixed, but they're all part donors cars up there. An old clock that came into the family. It doesn't work, but it's in my shed. And happy Father's Day, Dad. 2005. My kids bought me that when they were little, and it's stayed that way ever since. Right, we have our workbench now, and there's my box with all my model supplies and model tools in there. My tote that I take to model group, and then it's got all my the bench itself. Is where my Dremel tooling works is, all those sorts of bits and bobs, and paint pieces, glues and thinners and cleaners. My Wada airbrush, and spray booth setup with a vent goes out the window when I'm in here. Radio for a bit of tunes, compressor underneath there. And storage for all my drill to drill things apart, some heaters and stuff when it gets cold in here. My Dremel hanging on the wall, some more lights and more Tamiya paint things, stripper and all sorts of good gear. Alright, back to my display cabinets, and we're in where my plastic model kits are displayed. Most of that top shelf you've seen now. We have the F-truck there, 55 Gasser. There's the old barn find. There's my Plymouth and the two Mercuries. A couple of Corvettes and some of the Chevs that I built when I was younger. Do it that way. That particular one there was another friend who passed away. His wife gave me that model. But these hot rods next to it, they're all mine, all built over the years when I was into building hot rods. And they'll all get a Guernsey one day individually. Monte Carlo down there, 61 Impala convertible, or Roadster actually, because the roof was crushed on it. The Camaro, a couple of race cars there. A little pink one at the back there, my daughter built when she was a little girl with Dad's help. She put that together. It's pink, obviously. And then there's the two utes that I did. And then under that I got a few old boxes that had models in them. That 33 Chevy panel truck is complete. The box is pretty ratty, but it's in there. And that will get built one day. And then an original monogram box. And the old Indy Racer, which is that number 9 there. Alright, stepping up to the truck cabinet, I have a original Ertl Transtar, International Transtar, built or rebuilt by my good buddy Linley. He did that one for me this year for my birthday, and it was one of my models that I built when I was a young bloke, and it just fell into disrepair, and he found it and said, look, I'll fix it up for you. And he's had it quite a few years, and this turned up this year, so I'm pretty rapt. It's a really nice truck. He's done a beautiful job on that. And then there's the trailer part of my Gunner Transport story, the truck that I built. It's had its own time on the channel. Has had the Bedford and the dogs. There's old Mr. Gunner in the back. He passed away, that's why he's grey. The FC Holden and the HQ 1-tonner. And then we step up to the next cabinet, the next shelf across is the Kenworth Alaskan Hauler. This one was also built the same time as I built that original Ertl Transtar, but this one is stayed in good stead all those years. He was built in about 1987, last century, and a load of pipes on the back there, a converted van trailer to become just a deck top. And then we go down to the next one, which is the Peterbilt 24-hour road hauler, heavy duty hauler, which was another one I built in that same time frame. I had a bit of a truck run, and they've stayed well, held well. And stepping up to this next truck, up on this next shelf, you'll see another good truck that I built originally. It's a Diamond Rio, but this version was done again by my friend Linley. This one and the International Transtar at the top were both in the same box, and he totally rebuilt this one for me as an Australian truck, and obviously put Johnny V's haulage on it to tribute to me. And this one came to me on my 60th birthday a couple of years ago. So he's an awesome truck builder. I'm actually building a trailer for this one, which I'll show you now. So there you go, guys. I'm building the haul-away trailer, the 5-car automobile transporter, and it's the re-release by Round 2 AMT. And there we are, Johnny V's haulage. It's in an old style of paintwork and everything ready to go. I've just only got a few small things to do on it, and this will be then sitting on the back of that truck up there, and I'll probably throw a few of my cars on there to finish it out. Alright, and last in the room really is the just the collections that I have. I've got this collection here of yesteryears and Lidos. I never collected the fuel-based or petrol-based style of vehicles, which I like. So there's a couple of good ones in there that I really enjoy having. And then down here we've got the yesteryears. That little guy, that little guy, and that little guy I did some work on to restore many years ago as well, when I used to like that kind of thing, tinkering around with that era. but it's sat by the wayside now. So Tone from yesteryear's restorations, he's got them now, so good on him. And the bottom shelf there is Sydney Olympics 2000. They did a release of these cars, so we've got those in our collection as well. And then we step across to the Convoy series of trucks, which are another favourite of mine. The very top shelf there is all the trucks that have been on my channel, and they're my own customs on that, as well as the Smoking a Bandit truck. That's a restored fuel tanker on the back of that truck there. The Midnight Express is the rarer version because it's the cab over. They only release that very small numbers. The main one is down the bottom shelf here. I'll show that to you too. That's got the conventional cab. And the car transporter trailer, the FedEx truck, another car transporter trailer, and the shell with the Scania in front of it. We've got a couple there that's missing. It's a proper, I think that was meant to have a helicopter on the back, but it transports a forklift rather well. A Duckham Oil, and then we've got another trailer that's missing its main load. And then we've got the Ready Mix truck, and then there's this particular version. That's the re-release of the Midnight Express that came a few years later, and they put the conventional truck on the front of it. And we go up to the top here, and we have an old dinky that's waiting restoration, the old tow truck. And then we have another low bed truck. Oh, that's the one actually missing the helicopter. That's missing his trailer. And we have a Cheerios. And we have the two Ferrari trucks. Two different versions, one with a Scania in front and one with a Kenworth in front. And then a surfing van, I don't know what that one is, it's promotional for something. And then the big fire truck, Ladder Chief, and then the NASA set. And I actually bought these for my daughter because she's an absolute space nut. She loves anything to do with NASA and space exploration. So she said, "Dad, you can just keep them in your room." So there we have it. And one of my first cards that I got from Glenn, Model Cars with Glenn, first shop card, and one of his artworks he emailed to me. So that was really... So guys, there you go. It's a long video, this one, but it's a big thank you to all my subscribers out there, all 310 of you I think it is now. Really do thank you very, very much for your support and your comments and your likes, all that stuff. It's very humbling to know that what I put out is appreciated, and I really do thank you all for that very much. Again, this is time to say goodbye for the year. This will be my last video for this year, and I will be back into it in late January. I'm taking a break of everything, and I just need some time out. So we all need that for our mental health and our own physical health. So Merry Christmas to you all. May the Lord bless you in it, and have a good holiday season and a strong, refreshed, revitalised modelling year ahead in 2023. This is Johnny V saying bye now.